Hey, what's up YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Poor Man's Guide to Building a Food Truck. Thank you for clicking, thank you for being here. I wanted to create this video as an introductory video as to what you guys can expect from this channel. My first few videos that I ever made were really rookie, very village to be honest with you. Really haven't done anything like this before. A lot of stuttering, a lot of not knowing what to say and all that kind of stuff. So I've got a few videos under my belt now, so I feel like it's a good time to create an introductory video as to what you guys can expect from the channel and why you're here and why I would like for you to subscribe and ask questions and all that kind of good stuff. So I'm really gonna go over 3 things today, which is gonna give you just a real grasp of me as an individual and the channel, Poor Man's Guide to Building a Food Truck, and what you guys can expect. So the 3 things are gonna be why a food truck? Why would I decide to build a food truck? The second thing is my experience, what I have under my belt so far, and then number 3 is really what you guys can expect going forward. So with that being said, let's get right into that first question. So why a food truck? Really, there's a few factors that play into this. For me personally, I actually have some experience in the catering industry. I have an uncle back in the UK who I will mention in my videos that are to come, who runs a very successful catering business, has several food trucks that have regular routes, that have regular stops, regular customers. And my uncle Tone, shout out to Tone, he has created a really good living for himself back in the UK. So that was one reason, is I already have experience because I would go and work for him, you know, on weekends when I was a teenager or going back from college for summer and Christmas and stuff like that. I would work for him. And then I had a stint for about 6 months where I worked for him full time, and I learned a lot about the industry, and I learned a lot from him. So that was really one of the things. And secondly is really my location. So I'm here in Central Florida, where food truck businesses can run all year round. So I know a lot of places, especially in the States, in the northern states, they have to shut down, or they have to at least limit their business through the winter months and the colder months, or they have to really adapt to their environment. Whereas here in Florida, you know, it's sunny most of the time. We have, you know, we get a lot of rain in the summer, but business can operate. So that was another real big reason for me, is my location. And what ties into that is, at least in the Central Florida area, which is where I am, you know, only about 40 minutes from Orlando, a little over an hour from Tampa Bay, we have a real good foodie vibe, I guess you could say, in this area, especially close to Disney. A lot of tourism, a lot of foodie people. So you do see a lot of food trucks around here. So yes, it's competitive, but the research that I've done, which I will stress to you guys, obviously do your own research in your area, because every area is going to be different. Food trucks can be very successful. Another big thing for me is that I've always had a hobby. I grew up and I was a sportsman, played rugby to a pretty good level, played soccer, played everything at school, and then blew out my knee, you know, when I was a young adolescent, and that was really the end of my sporting career. And I've always had like a hobby. I've always had something that, you know, I've been good at. So really in the last 2 years or so, I really got into cooking and really enjoyed it. Loved learning new recipes, and again, something that I was able to self-teach myself, just going online, going on YouTube, looking at recipes and all that kind of stuff. And you know, once I applied myself, I found that I was pretty good at it. So obviously I had the catering background as well, which kind of helped, you know, making basic stuff at home, you know, tacos, sandwiches, really easy meals that I rustled up and I would cook for family and friends. And they'd always say to me, they'd be like, this is really good. You know, you should do something with food, or, you know, if you got into food, that it would be something that you'd be good at. So really enjoying the culinary side and putting the kind of construction side together, they kind of go hand in hand. So that's another big reason as to why I've decided to go with a food truck. And I think that I'm like a lot of people out there that have that dream of one day working for themselves, having their own business and being successful. So really that's another big driving force for me, is I don't want to be going through the motions, do you know what I mean? And you know, 10, 15, 20 years down the line, have nothing really to show for it, or you know, nothing to really be proud of. I've always felt that I'm good with my hands, and I'm good at figuring stuff out. I'm good at educating myself. So really it's just one of those things that I just want to prove to myself that I can do it. not doing it for any other reason, or not doing it for anybody else, doing it for myself, and you know, wanting to build something. So the second question, my experience, again, it kind of ties into the first one a little bit. You know, I have experience in the catering industry, but I actually went to school to be a teacher, so I have a background in education. And then when I moved to the States, I actually went into the retail industry. So I was in retail management, still am in retail management. That's what pays my bills, that's what puts the roof over my head. So, and it pays for my son. So that's really my experience. I don't have that much experience in construction, electrical or plumbing or really anything like that. So a lot of the stuff that I'm doing with this food truck, which you'll see, I'm doing it off the cuff. You know, I'm learning as I go. Most nights when I get home from work, you know, if I don't have my son, then I am researching, trying to educate myself on how to do certain aspects of the truck. Like you can kind of see the electrical all around me. I have learned that purely online. There's a guy who I follow religiously. I would drop him a mention right now, Frank Baltieres. He runs Rolling Burritos food truck up in the Chicago area, and he is creating a YouTube series where he takes you step by step into how to do specific parts of building a food truck, the electrical, the plumbing, the propane, everything from start to finish. So if you guys are here, go ahead and search for Frank Baltieres, how to build a food truck. He has really been a huge asset for me in terms of learning certain things that I had no idea about. So my experience is very limited when it comes to construction. What I found is that there's some good information online about building a food truck and running a food truck, and that's great. But what about for those people that maybe don't have that experience in background? Like Frank, for example, who runs Rolling Burritos, he's an electrician. So although he may be doing it and learning a lot of it himself, he still has that kind of fundamental knowledge of construction, you know. So me personally, I don't have that. I did a little bit when I was a teenager. I have another uncle who runs a air conditioning and ventilation company, and I worked maybe a handful of jobs for him, and it was really just a lot of the manual labor stuff, picking and moving and shifting. Didn't learn too much about construction, so my knowledge there is very limited. So for those people out there that may be looking at getting into something like this that don't have that knowledge, I'm right there with you. So that's really my experience in a nutshell. And the third and final question, what to expect in the upcoming videos. Like I said, I've done a few. We're kind of like in the future. So I've already done a few now, and I've got a few videos under my belt, and I've already begun, you can see behind me, I've begun a lot of the stuff with the food truck. My previous videos, you'll see I went out to buy the trailer, what it looked like when I first got it, how I tried to save some money on basic stuff, and I'll share some of that information with you guys in the videos that are going to be upcoming. And then it's really just going to be a journey of, okay, well, how feasible is it to do a project like this, run a business with a really restricted budget? Because I'll be completely honest, made some pretty bad decisions with debt and stuff like that. So my financial position isn't great, and I feel like there's probably a lot of people out there like me that are kind of going paycheck to paycheck a little bit and trying to hustle just to put a roof over their head. So what you guys can expect is really the journey that I'm about to go through. With these videos, I'm hoping that you guys see a lot of my character. I like to think that I'm a go-getter. I like to think that I am a hard worker. Just, had a little bit of a rough time the last 18 months, 2 years, I guess you could say. Got myself into a bit of a hole with money and that kind of stuff. So going from more of a dark place to somewhere where, I see myself in the future as running my own business, being my own boss, having my own customer base, people seeing me and seeing my brand and my name and recognizing it and being like, hey, I have respect for that, or whatever it might be. So I'm not out to impress anybody else. I'm not out to try and prove it to anybody else. My goal is to build something to be successful and to leave something hopefully for my son. I have a young boy who is my world, so I want to have something when he's older that if he wants to take it on and really carry it through his, through the family generations and all the rest of it. So, which I think is a dream for a lot of people. So that's really what you guys can expect from these videos. So without further ado, the next couple of videos that you'll see, like I said, really rookie, never done this kind of thing before. So please have some patience with me. That's why I'm creating this introductory video, because I got a few videos under my belt. So thank you guys for being here. Please like, please subscribe. Any tips, any questions, leave them in the comments right below, and I'll be happy to get back to each and every one of you personally. So thank you guys. Until next time,